All right, C1x Report, and it is round one of the Turku Open. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. We've got some early scores coming in. Feature cards are still out on the course right now. But pulling up the scores here, Raven Newsom absolutely shredded. Was going to enter his round into C1X, but unfortunately, there are no stats for his round. So instead, we're going to jump down to Daniel Davidsson. Was here in Yuli. All the Jomez guys talk about him actually during the last two European tournaments, being I believe Crocol and Worlds. Evidently, he's a pretty ridiculous thrower. So we're going to pick Daniel's round, enter it into C1X, look at the stats, put together our usual graphics at the end, along with some C1X round ratings. So yeah, let's jump into it here. Pull up our simulator with the app running. Step one is going to be adding the course. It is a course that I do not know well at all. I think maybe if I saw it, I would recognize some of the holes, but cannot think of it off the top of my head. We've got the Stag 2025 as the layout. That's what I'm going to enter in for the name. 18 holes. We'll do the pars first. So holes 1 and 2 are par 4s. 4 is a par 4. 7 is a par 4. We've got 9, 11, 14, and 16. No par 5s on this course, but a lot of par 4s sprinkled in. Looking at the scores coming in, it definitely is a Pro Tour course. It doesn't look ridiculously hard. Definitely not like Northwood's Black Level or the Monster, but definitely on this higher end of course difficulty. So now let's add in the distances. So we've got 663, 656, 269, 692, 331. I don't need to say all the distances out loud, I guess. I'll get these typed in real quick. This is not something you have to do in C1X. I know I've mentioned this in the previous reports as well. You are not required to go enter in course distances if you don't want to. It will not affect your stat keeping at all, but it does just make the graphics at the end look a little bit nicer, just because you have the whole distances in there. Otherwise, it'll just show your whole numbers and pars, which is fine too. But we're doing these for the visuals. These are going to go up on the C1X social channels, so we'll put the distances in, make it look nice. 620, 358, and 381. All right. So now course is added. We hit confirm, and we're ready to go. So let's hit start round, and let's just jump into scoring Daniel Davidsson's round one at the Turku Open. All right, hole 1, par 4, driving in the fairway. 2 circle 1 putts. Yeah, okay. All right, so driving in the fairway. If you watch the previous C1X reports, you'll notice that this design, this view has changed a little bit. Part of a version 6 update that hasn't come out yet, but it's on my simulator at least. So drive in the fairway, second shot inside of circle 1. Doesn't say what distance that putt was missed from, but we'll say it was at the edge of circle. And then he had a tap in for par. Hole 2, in the fairway, threw it to circle 2. And then inside circle 1, bullseye for another par tap in. Hole 3, threw the drive to 16 feet and made the putt for birdie. Hole 4, in the fairway, threw upshot to 26 feet and made that putt for birdie. Hole 5, another drive to 16 feet. Hole 6, another set of 2 circle 2 putts, another 2 putt here, or 2 circle 1 putts. Edge of circle, second one to 16 feet in the basket for par. Hole 7, driving was in the rough, but was able to scramble to 16 feet for the birdie. I wonder if that was a good scramble or if the volunteer was maybe a little friendly on that rough call. Hole 8, drive to 16 feet in the basket. The distances definitely don't look too unmanageable, especially for a Pro Tour level. Look fairly straightforward here. Hole 9, par 4, drive in the fairway, upshot into the bullseye for a birdie. Hole 10, drive to 16 feet, Hole 11 in the fairway. Oh. And upshot to 16 feet in the basket. Hole 12, drive landed in circle 2. Another missed circle 2 putt. Had a tap in though for par. Hole 13, exact same thing. 13, drive in circle 2. This time, putt landed at 16 feet, but made the comebacker for par. Hole 4, drive landed in the fairway. Looks like just in the fairway again. And then through his... So he had a putt for par. His first C1X putt was for par. Only 2 putts there. So his third shot landed in the fairway. Or no. I'm confusing myself here. He's had 2 shots. Third shot in the fairway. Fourth shot in circle 1. Missed the circle 1 putt. Had to tap in for bogey. I think I did that wrong. Let's undo. I added 1 too many strokes, I think. I'm the developer of the app. I should probably be better at this here. In the fairway. In the fairway. His third shot was inside of circle 1. And then he missed the circle 1 putt. There we go. And then had the tap in for bogey. All right. We got it right this time. Hole 15, drive just landed in the fairway inside of circle 1 for the bullseye, tap in for par. Hole 16, in the fairway, upshot to 16 feet, tap in for birdie. 17, he put inside the bullseye. And then 18 to 16 feet again. All right, so finish round. And this was the 10 under from Daniel there. All right, so now that we're done with that, let's take a look at these stats. Right off the bat, C1 putting, just putting in general, definitely the weak point of the round. Could have been probably up there with Ravens round, with just a couple more C1X makes, maybe one of those C2 putts goes in. Driving, pretty good. If you're inside circle 1 in regulation 72% of the time, you should be scoring well. That's generally how that should work. So weak point, just off the brief summary here, is definitely putting. We're going to see all those missed putts here. The one scramble, which I'm going to guess was a little bit soft, to be off the tee and scrambling inside of 16 feet. Maybe it was just a really heroic effort, but I'm going to guess he wasn't too far off the fairway there. Same story here, putting. Definitely want to see one of those circle 2 putts goes down, and C1X putting should probably be a little bit higher. That's what turns those really good rounds into great rounds. Like Raven put together there. Had the one bogey. I'd be curious to go look at that hole and just see what happened here. Only 600 feet. I know distance isn't an issue for him. He had no OB strokes on the hole. So it must have just been pretty wooded, and he had to chop his way through the fairway a little bit with the missed circle 1 putt for par as well. Would be curious to look at that one. Scramble rate, yeah, 100%. And yeah, C2 bonus stat. Kind of telling the story there. Only 6 consecutive C1X made putts. 5 birdies in a row. Put a nice streak together. But yeah, really putting is the story of that round. Fantastic driving performance, I think. If he makes all of his C1X putts and makes even just one of the C2 putts, he's sitting in at a 14 under, which would have been probably 1100 rated based on what the ratings we're looking at right now, maybe just under it. Yeah, pretty still around there, but needs the putting to improve a little bit. Let's go ahead and upload that graphic here. Drop it into the app. Obviously, we've got to update names here. Let's make sure I spell his name right here. Davidsson, 2 S's. Okay. We've got a round 1, and it was a 52, which was 10 down. Rating was 1067. Definitely still a shredder of a round. All right, stats that stand out here. C1x putting definitely was the sore point of the round at only 79%, which is still not bad, but not, I'm sure, nearly as good as he would like. C1 in regulation, what was that at? That was at 72%. I've already got the number right there. That's pretty ridiculous on a Pro Tour course to be inside of circle 1 for birdie 72% of the time. That's pretty ridiculous. All right, one more stat here. Only parked 11% of the time, so still making some putts for those birdies. Let's just go 61% birdie. Birdies, 61%. All right, so that's going to be our graphic. That'll go up live for the C1x Report round 1 of the Turku Open. Let's go jump into our pro breakdown here. We're going to give Daniel's round a rating of hold. It was a ridiculously good round. By all means. I mean, above 1060 rated, it's hard to ever complain about that. But the putting stats tell me that the putt's a little cold. And I think no matter how good you're throwing, if on the tee you have any nervousness over whether you're going to make the birdie putt if you throw it to 20 feet, that impacts your driving stats. That mentally, that's a struggle to overcome. We're going to give it the rating of hold. Let's go do our C1x round rating. And here I need to display the button that we're doing it. So we'll do a little sneak peek here into some of the code for C1x. But I need this button right here. So we're going to show that code. We're going to have the button pop up right there. Let's tap it. All right, C1x score is 8.66. So still a very good round, and my guess there is that the driving stat carried it. Carried the grade most of the way there. Yeah, I don't think I'm outputting the breakdown yet, which is fine. But I think driving kind of saved the day, and his putting was good enough to convert on a lot of those birdie opportunities. Definitely let a few slip by, but a great round by all means. And I think if you can figure out the putt, that becomes a buy rating real quick. Get the putter a little hot, and throwing as well as he's throwing right now, it's going to be tough to beat. I know Raven's got him by a few strokes, and there's still some feature cards out there that are putting down good rounds. But I think Daniel's definitely got a good shot if the putt comes along. So this will be our thumbnail for the video going up, and that's going to wrap it up for C1x Report, day 1 of the Turku Open. So we'll do this for all 3 rounds. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.